Sodom. Go ahead, Ak.
Verse 3, a sword is set upon you, and who may turn it back? A fire is set among you, and who may quench it?
Because is Esau, is he going to be able to turn back the plagues, the missiles, once they're set out? No, he doesn't have that power, you know? Go ahead.
And even their heart of a king who could, like we were talking about earlier, they're wanting war. They can't win it. They openly can't win it, but they want war.
Not only that, those elite, they cash in on wars. You know, they've been making millions and billions and trillions of dollars, you know, since they became the dominion on the earth. You know? It's a lucrative thing for the Edomite war.
Right? It's alchemy. The thing of alchemy is making gold out of iron. There's only two ways: slavery or weapons for war. It says, verse 5, plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away? May any man drive away an hungry lion in the wood? Or may any one quench the fire in stubble when it hath begun to burn?
These prophecies are faithful and true to these scriptures. All right? So there's no turning back. Once these prophecies and these plagues start to hit Babylon, America, and the earth, it's not like you can reverse that thing.
No, and actually, being in the country, I seen that actually firsthand. When you burn the leaves, if you start a fire, the fire actually goes underneath the pile of leaves. And once it's down there, how do you quench it? You can't put it out. The whole pile will be on fire before you know it. It says, may one turn again the arrow that is shot of a strong archer? The mighty
and that arrow, that modern day arrow, is going to be dealing with those missiles. All right?
The mighty king sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away?
That's self-explanatory. You ain't going to be able to retract these nuclear missiles once they're sent out to hit their target. You know?
A fire shall go forth from his wrath, and who is he that may quench it?
You want to bring out that Isaiah 54:16?
This is Isaiah 54:16. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire.
And what is the most prominent name in America? It's Smith, right? There's more Smiths in America than anything. That's not a coincidence that you have, which goes back to blacksmith, who was the creator of weapons, right? In the ancient medieval days, the blacksmith was the one who worked with the iron and created weapons. Well, this is a modern plague, modern weapon, which is a nuclear missile.
Going on, it says, that bringeth forth the instrument of war, or and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work, and I have created the waster to destroy.
Because those nuclear missiles that are going to hit America, they're going to waste this place away. All right? Go ahead, Ak.
2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 10. He shall cast lightnings, and who shall not fear? He shall thunder, and who shall not be afraid?
And in the same fashion, you know, when there's a bad thunderstorm, you know, you be in your house, you be in your bed, you know, freaked out sometimes. You hear those thunders so strong, you know what I mean? Especially your little kids and the dogs freaking out. Well, it's going to be in the same fashion with these missiles. You know, people are going to be scared. They're going to be scared as hell, man.
Oh, the prophets, they were sick. Some of the prophets were sick.
Just seeing these visions in their dreams, they were sick to their stomach. You know, they literally fell to the ground in fear.
So if you're at home and you're learning the true study and your wife is there some of the time, guess what? Her flesh being weak, she's going to get feared. It says in verse 11, the king shall threaten, and who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence?
Because that's reserved to nothing, right? That fire is going to be unquenchable, and you're gonna literally, you're gonna just see, like your brother said earlier, dead bodies and burned up, and there's just gonna be stubble in the fire. You want to bring that Isaiah out? 47.
Beaten into dust, man.
This is Isaiah 47 and 14. Behold, they shall be as stubble, the fire shall burn them, they shall not deliver themselves from the power of the flame. There shall not be a coal to warm at, nor fire to sit before it. Thus shall they be unto thee with whom thou hast labored, even thy merchants from thy youth. They shall wander every one to his quarter, none shall save thee.
God, none shall save thee. Jesus Christ ain't going to save you in that day. You know,
None of those nations are.
none of the nations, none of the stargazers, the prognosticators, no, any of that sorcery, you're going to be part of that fire. You know, if you're caught up in that.
Let me get a step up.
God.
Luke 10 and 11. Even the very dust of your city, which cleaveth on us, we do wipe off against you. Notwithstanding, be ye sure of this, that the kingdom of Yahweh is come nigh unto you.
Khan, when you see all these destruction and these plagues and this fire and this stubble, the wicked be turned into powder, you know, this is showing you that that kingdom is near, you know.
The chip. You
Khan.
see that chip, you're going to know that a prophet was amongst you.
Khan.
God. This is 2nd Ezra 15 and 41.
You know what? I'm sorry. Keep reading on, then we'll bring that out. In just a
2nd Ezra 16, verse 12. The earth quaketh, and the foundations thereof. The sea ariseth up with waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled.
From the deep. So what's going to cause the sea from the deep to rise up above? It's going to be that impact of those nuclear missiles hitting the earth. Go ahead.
It says, and the fish thereof also before the king, and before the glory of his power.
God.
For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow, his arrows that he shooteth are sharp, and shall not miss.
Because those nuclear missiles, they're GPS controlled, you know. So that these people are literally, they're not going to miss with these. Just like when you have it, you're trying to find a location in your GPS map, you can go right to that location. Well, in the same fashion, these missiles are not gonna, they're not gonna miss their destination. You know.
You want me to continue?
Yeah, we're gonna keep going. But
Okay.
you know what? No,
It says,
after he reads.
finishing on verse 13, when they began to be shot into the ends of the world,
God,
behold,
when they began to get shot. So what is that talking about? If it's not a missile, for all you people who think you can break down these scriptures, what is it then? We know that these are nuclear missiles that are going to be shot where, brother?
it says, to the ends of the world, behold, the plagues are sent, and shall not return again until they come upon the earth.
God. And that's what it is. They're, like it said earlier, you can't shoot a missile and then bring it back. You know, once those missiles, you can't change your mind. You know what I mean? And ultimately, Yahweh is going to put the spirit on these Edomites to shoot those missiles at each other.
Yep.
This is 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse 41. Fire and hail and fleeing swords
Flying,
and many waters shall all fields may be full, and all rivers with the abundance of great waters.
Khan, fire, hail, and flying swords. So the prophet Esdras, you know, he didn't have the word missile, so he was using his best analogy of what he saw in his vision. He saw flying swords, which are these missiles we've been talking about all night. Go ahead, Aqua.
Which looks like an arrow.
Khan.
2nd Ezra 16, verse 15. The fire is kindled and shall not be put out till it consumed the foundation of the earth. And just to make that known, the earth is made to last forever. It's literally talking about the people.
Wow.
Because if the elect are here, which are the beginning of Israel, guess what? The beginning of Esau is here, the beginning of Ishmael is here, the beginning of all these other nations are here. Just so that's cleared up. Let me go ahead. 13? No, I was at 16.
16, and then jump down to 20.
Okay. Like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer returneth not backward, even so the plagues that shall be sent upon earth shall not return again.
Khan, when a Gadite, back in the day, when a Gadite would pull his bow and arrow and shoot it out, he had no way of returning that arrow back. How much more with the missiles?
Right.
You know, they're not coming back. Once, like I said, once they make that decision to hit those buttons and release those missiles, it's a done deal, man. You can't change your mind on that thing.
Verse 20, but for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges.
Khan, you go ahead and bring that out. This is just a precept.
This is
for that.
Revelation 9 and 21. Neither repented they of their murders, nor of their sorceries, nor of their fornication, nor of their thefts.
Khan, because those elite, they have those underground bunkers, right? Some of them elite are going to make it through the nuclear war. They're not going to be deceased right off of those nuclear missiles. That some of them are going to live through that, but they're still not going to repent, right? Bring it out.
Yeah, because they're wicked, man.
Khan, because they are the wicked. Like the brothers holding up the sign.
That's why it says they stole. These men stole everything that they have, man.
Khan, and you got the Lord Jacob de Rothschild, which is this guy right here. That Rothschild, that literally means red child in German. Roth, that's how you say it in German. So he's literally declaring to you that he knows he's the Edomite, who is the red baby born in Genesis, Esau.
Right. Let me get a step up. Revelation 14:8. And there followed another angel saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication.
Khan, and how do all these nations drink of the wrath of the fornication of Babylon? It's through their churches, it's through their democracy, it's through all of their policies that America pushes in here in Babylon, and also when they go on many waters, because Esau Edom, the so-called white man, he's not happy in his own realm. He wants to take over all realms.
He's a vagabond.
He's a vagabond. He wants everyone's resources.
In fact, Hong Kong is in protest right now because it was controlled by Britain. All right, I mean Great Britain, and when they left it this year, they returned it back to old China. Well, old China is a communist country, and Britain operates as like a Western country, like America. So all those Moabites of Hong Kong, they're used to the internet, they're used to all these so-called liberties of the Western lifestyle. Now that they go back under China, guess what? They don't get that beast system.
God.
So that's why they're fighting over there in Hong Kong. They want that beast system. They want Esau's way of life.
They've had the soft words that Esau spoken to them.
Right.
Right. You know. So a lot of these nations, that's how they fornicate, and the beast influences the rest of these nations in this world.
Right. Because China was called a forbidden city at one time. Nobody was able to enter it because it was locked down.
God.
I got one more
yeah,
verse.
you're good on
Don't
that.
mind.
No, go ahead.
Just for a second. I'm just curious. I'm a curious guy.
You can ask questions, man. Go ahead.
We're the Hebrew Israelites.
Oh, really? I'm Jewish.
Shalom. We don't shake.
You don't shake?
You're Jewish?
Jewish.
Ish.
Meaning you're ish. Like if I said you were a child and I said you were childish, and you're not really a child.
I'm definitely
you're
childish.
like a child. Right. So if you're
Yeah,
childish,
I agree with some
but you're
things
not a
Judaism
child,
do,
right?
And I definitely
So
don't.
can
I don't
ask a
agree with
question?
anything.
Can I ask a question real quick?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you're Jewish, right? And your people were the so-called victims of a Holocaust.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay,
I
wait,
think
wait,
that's-
wait, wait.
Yeah.
What does the word Holocaust mean?
It's a genocide of a people because of who they are.
No.
Holy fire.
Holy fire.
I mean,
Holy
yeah,
burden.
give or take. Yeah,
So
yeah,
where was the holy fire in the so-called Holocaust?
I mean, I would say it was Jewish people being.
Let me grab a preset.
If I could just
I
say
know
one
more
more
guys.
point.
I was just curious.
Yeah.
Man,
Hey, on your way out, man. These are the true Israelites according
Just
to the
let
Bible
you
and
know,
according to history. The so-called Negro,
So-called
Latino, and Native
Negro
American.
is the true Jew.
Oh yeah, I know.
Right?
I agree with what you guys are saying, and it's
Well,
you know, I
'cause
think
it's
I
the
think
truth.
it
You
everything
believe
is
it
on
because
a
it's the
teeter
truth.
totter. You know,
Because we're not coming.
Nothing's a truth.
Watch, hear me
man.
out. Hear me out.
Nothing's a truth.
That's
Well, not
Esau,
when it
right?
comes to Esau. Not when it comes to your people. You know what I mean?
What do you
You're
mean
an
by you
Edomite.
blame?
You're an Edomite,
See,
bro.
though, at the end of the day, man, speak for yourself.
on the
because
bus. The wicked
elect
flee.
will understand the truth,
The
man.
wicked flee
The world cannot.
Huh. The wicked flee when no man can pursue it.
That's
and
Esau,
that's the
though,
spirit
right?
of Esau right there.
He said, "There's no truth.
Yeah, there's no
There's a
truth.
gray space. The whole
God,
earth is gray."
He's an atheist. He'll tell you he's Jewish, but the motherfucker's an atheist. You know, if you went deeper in it.
Yeah.
But he didn't have time to talk about that because all he was about to do was get cut up.
He said, "I gotta go."
Even on his own so-called heritage, that he's a fraudulent. You know, you always got these fucking Jewish, who are these Amalekites, who come to the camp and you know they got to run when the truth starts coming out. You know.
Did you have a step you wanted to bring out? Doc?
You were gonna bring out something for him, but he left.
I was gonna throw him a cut, but
Yeah, he's already gone. He was
all good,
easy to
man.
cut because he.
I got two verses.
Can't bring it up.
Revelation 9, 14:9. It says, "And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, If any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb."
So the brother just brought out the fate of that Jewish Edomite. You know what I mean? That fake ass Jew. So that's what his fate is. That's why he wanted to jump on the bus.
Tormented
He didn't want to
already,
hear it.
bro.
It's already tormented because he knows he's not a damn Jew. You know what I mean? Especially when the prophets are out here in America prophesying and revealing who the beast is.
And there was no Holocaust. The Holocaust is coming. We're speaking about the Holocaust.
God, we're speaking about the holy fire. That's why he didn't even know what he's Jewish supposedly, but he didn't even know what the Holocaust meant.
Right. And really, the Holocaust, when they were burning those bodies, Hitler.
Bonfire, huh?
Yeah.
I saw your message on that.
Yeah, Hitler is a Jewish. He's a Jewish rat. He wasn't killing his own people for nothing. He was trying to clean them of the plague, typhus, which came upon them from their filthiness. Because you got to remember, the Jewish were Khazars, which were occupying Turkey.
God. And just because the brother brought it out, you know, that extends to these Edomites now. They're literally not the most clean. Their hygiene is not the best out here, man.
No,
I'm
that's
telling
why
you.
they got fucking
They stink, man.
disease, bro.
And not only that, you know, I have my youngest daughter. Her mother is a so-called white woman, and I have to tell this damn lady every week when she brings my daughter, hey, you need to give her a shower before you bring her here. You know?
Oh yeah, those
Because that
Khazars.
is- those Khazars, they're
If you
fucking.
read about them, their underwear, their clothes used to rot off them.
Yeah, they'd wear it till it disintegrated on them.
Yeah.
You know? You know? And I like to play basketball, so whenever I'm guarding an Edomite, man, I can smell his ass. You know what I mean? It's just straight up. You know? But,
Like Trump. You know, Trump, he probably got the $2,000 suit on, but he ain't washed his ass in like a month.
God,
Yeah.
and as busy as
Look,
he tries to
barely.
stay. Yeah.
Bro,
Yeah.
the spirit's
It's a
protected.
hedge, the hedge. That we might, you know, we got a good hedge,
don't even
but
know
we
where
may
that
think
came
about moving locations next week. We don't want to try the spirit too much. But because we're not perfect either. You know, we try to keep these laws. We try to bring this truth out as best as possible. But we're still flesh. We're men. You know, we're rehearsing the righteous acts. But hey, it doesn't mean that things can't happen to us. You know what I mean? But
We're not saved yet.
God, no one's saved. That's why Christianity goes back to that arrogant white devil, so-called white man, right? Because they walk around saying they're saved, you know, or they have salvation. They put that on our people. Because I saw a girl who was an Israelite on social media. She said something like, "I'm thankful for my salvation," and I'm thinking, bitch, you ain't had salvation yet. You know what I mean? It's the darkness that these Edomites have put on our Israelite men and women.
Just like them being Jewish, that's a darkness.
Khan.
Ish is a
Yeah, it's on
substance.
their own people too.
Yeah.
You know.
Did you want me to get more of this?
Yeah.
Second
Let's
Ezra 16?
let's see.
I read verse 20,
Yeah, bring out 21.
and that verse 20 let me read that verse 20. That
Bring it out again. Yeah.
Second Ezra 16, verse 20. But for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges.
And that was that the kid that just walked up on
You don't
us.
want to hear about the
He don't want
scourging?
to. Yeah.
You know, I ain't go to slavery.
He's not turning away. He's not saying, you know what, he didn't get on his knees and say, hey, you guys are the Israelites.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know?
It says that the wicked are too proud to beg.
Right. And they put that song, what was that song in the 90s with TLC? They had our women singing that, right? Ain't Too Proud to Beg. And it was actually a remake.
Yeah.
But that's how they keep, because those Amalekites, they're the ones who own all these music, entertainment industry and stuff. So all those songs, the lyrics are death.
Straight out of Compton, bro.
Right. We listened to them when we were kids and we were in darkness and hey, we thought we were cool. And now that we're in this truth and we have real wisdom, real oil, we go back and listen to some music with some truth. We're like, man, this is what was keeping our people in darkness, man. It's
Right.
plain as day, you know?
Verse 21, behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth that they shall think themselves to be in good case.
So those victuals, that goes back to food being very affordable.
Popeye chicken.
What does America have? Right. What does America have? Victuals, right? They have. You can go to any one of these fast food restaurants and get something off the dollar menu. And people are in Babylon like, we're living a life, right? We can eat without spending a lot of money, and that they're not concerned about these prophecies that are about to be fulfilled. You know, they're too busy eating good off that dollar menu. You know.
It says, and even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. And that's real spiritual with what the brother was saying. They're selling you a fucking 10 nuggets for $1, and chicken ain't even that cheap. So that meat, there ain't even chicken
Not
in
even
there.
real chicken.
Because there's a famine.
God.
In reality already, there's a famine on the earth.
And that's why people are obese and sick and have gout, and they don't follow the dietary laws. Our own people are they. You know, how many times have you been to your family member's house and they're eating some heathen shit? You know, or they're offering you some green chili and you can't even eat the motherfucker because it's got pork in it. You know,
Cross contamination.
they don't get it. You know, you say, hey, I don't eat pork in 4 or 5 years, and they're like, you know, they don't get it. You know.
And great confusion.
There it is, the confusion. You know?
Babylon. For many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. The only way they're gonna escape that hunger is taking that chip or eating a fucking family member.
I want to jump down to 36.
36. Behold, the word of the king, receive it. Believe not the gods of whom the king spake. Behold, the plagues draw nigh.
God, because what did Yahweh Shai say? He said, many shall come in my name.
Right.
You know? And that's what you see, man. You see, you always got to bring it
Them
out
saying
the-
they're Jewish,
the
that's
season.
coming in the
Yeah.
Lord's name right there.
God, he came in the Lord's name saying he's Jewish.
I wish I was a Jew.
God, Yahweh Shai was a Jew from the tribe of Judah. He wasn't no skinny, scrawny Amalekite. You know, like we just had, the Lord brought that example to the camp just now. No, he was a leopard. Yeah, he was a badass Negro, man, so-called Negro. You know, turning tables in
I said he was rough to look at, man.
Khan. Yeah, because he had a beard, you know. And he probably had an afro, you know.
And it wasn't well kept, probably. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It was just let it grow.
Con.
You know, you see how certain
He wasn't
brothers-
lining his shit up. He wasn't, you know, getting the fade. You know what I mean? He wasn't looking crispy with his clothing. You know.
And
he
Judah's
was
known
rough.
for that. Judah's known. You know how they start your pants sometimes?
Con.
They start your pants
Or
so
they'll put
tight
the crease. They put the crease.
Yeah.
I wish I didn't have creases in his
in
garments.
his garments. You know what I mean? He really had nowhere to lay his head to call his own.
Con.
It says
36.
38.
Yeah.
Oh no,
37.
7. Behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack, as when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, with 2 or 3 hours of her birth great pains compass her womb, which pains when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment.
Con. So in the same fashion that these women, when they're getting ready to have their babies, there's signs, you know, the water breaks, you know, they have contractions. Well, it's the same thing with these plagues, man. The watchmen, who are like the brother, perfect example. He was showing you the app with the fires. You know, you don't have an average person walking around with that app on his phone. You know, 'cause they don't care. They're too busy with all they have is maybe Facebook, Spotify, all the basic shit. You know. Netflix, you know,
And they ain't watching it for
education. Yeah, they're not. Yeah, exactly. They don't know. They don't even have a spiritual life.
They're
You
watching
know, everything is
Queer Eye.
oblivious to them. Yeah. God, go ahead.
Verse 39, even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side.
Con, on just the Israelites.
And sorrows
Every side.
shall come upon it, upon it on every side.
Con, we know that the judgment starts with the house of God, but it's gonna be on every side. Everyone's gonna feel this pain. Everyone's gonna, and especially the Edomite, you know, who is the so-called white man, who is gonna drink off this cup because there's a balance, and he's gonna get what he deserves. You know, the same thing. The way he treated our people, he's gonna drink from that same cup. Okay, go ahead and bring that out.
Con. This is 2 Peter 3:9. The Lord is not slack concerning his promise, as some men count slackness, but is long suffering to usward, not willing that any should perish, but that all would come to repentance.
Con. So, you know, ideally, we would want all of these Israelites to repent, but we know that that's not possible on this planet Earth, because like we've been bringing out all night, these heathen and these 2/3, they're too caught up in Babylon, man. They don't want to leave Babylon. They're like the Egyptians, you know, that were in the wilderness. Or I'm sorry, the Israelites when they left Egypt, they want to go back to Egypt. These 2/3, they love their condition, you know. They love their captivity.
They
you know?
worship the image of the beast.
Con. And it may, you know, people have lost the faith through the generations because, you know, they're all in with Esau Edom right now, you know. But the thing is it don't mean nothing to the Lord. Just because they've lost the faith doesn't mean these prophecies aren't going to remain faithful to truth. You know?
A good movie for that on Netflix is called Layla. It's an Elamite movie, but it speaks in English, and they show the chip, and they need chip for water and food. But what they do is the women that were taken in, they lust for the old way, like back in the Western way, having swimming pools, cell phones, and fast food and shit. That's what they're gonna do. Can I get a step up?
Con, go ahead.
It says, Psalms 97:10. Ye that love Yahweh hate evil. He preserveth the souls of his saints. He delivereth them out of the hand of the wicked.
We hate evil because what the prophets, we don't want to be in captivity no more. We don't want to be in Babylon anymore.
don't
What
want
is
the
evil?
chip.
Bad times. This is bad times for our people. This is hell for the Israelite. You know what I mean?